It's a beautiful series of verses. Shataka 9, 24 to 33. This is Radha. Madhura Ranan Mani Nupura. Madhura Ranan Mani Nupura. Radha Padaravinda Saundaryam. Vrindavana Bhuvi Santatam. Anuchintayato Mama Shana Yantu. He's now, Srila Saraswati Pad is speaking to his mind. And he's speaking to Yogamaya, Purnamasi. And he's speaking to, and he's directing all of us what we should do. Whether we're living in Vrindavan with our body and mind, or living elsewhere with our body and living in Vrindavan with our mind. That's enjoined, that's desirable, that's hopeful to attain. Let me spend my time. Time is spending us, or we're spending time? Time is spending us. You go and spend your money. I gave you $100. What did you do? I spent it. You spend your money, you give it out, and it's gone. You buy something. So time is spending us. Are we spending our time, or time is spending us? It's just spending us like anything. Time is a big spender. How many hours he spent today? He spent so many times. And did he spend them for Maya, or did time spend my energy, my pran? Did time spend my pran today for Maya, or did time spend my pran today for Krishna's seva? That we have to see. We have to do accounts at the end of the day. Let's see, my time account, timeline. Lifeline, timeline, pran, here today and gone tomorrow. That is my pran. Pran is gone, and so long. It's over. Let me spend my time in Vrindavan. Doing what? Constantly remembering the beauty of Sri Radha's lotus feet. And that's why we're having these classes. So we can constantly... You can't remember something you never heard about. You can't remember something you've never seen. But if you've seen and heard about, then you've seen the Guru and you've heard about the Guru. You've seen Srila Prabhupada and you've heard about Srila Prabhupada and you've served him, you've prayed to him, then you can remember him. You can dream about him. You can be with him. So he's saying, start with the feet. Let me spend my time in Vrindavan, constantly remembering the beauty of Sri Radha's lotus feet, which are decorated with jeweled studded ankle bells that make a sweet sound. So oftentimes we're hearing here, we should not only meditate, because usually when people think about meditation, they think about seeing something in the mind, engaging the mind's eye, the manodrik, or meditate on the form of Krishna. So then we meditate, we try to see the form of Krishna. Meditate on the deities. So we meditate, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna's wearing a turban like this, an outfit like this, garland. And with our mind and the eye of our mind, we're trying to see the rupam, the form. But the form has many attributes. The form has the form, or the person, let's say the person has 5 different attributes which can be perceived by 5 different senses. So a person has rupam, a person has shabda, sound, a person has taste, rasam, a person has touch, sparsha, and sound, shabda, and gandha, smell. All these things are attributes of a person. Yes? 5 attributes. Krishna is the Supreme Person. When we meditate, we usually only meditate on, let me meditate on Krishna's form, Rup Dhyan. Let me meditate on the 19 charan chinna, the 19 marks on the bottom of Krishna's feet, and 19 some similar and different marks on the bottom of Radha's feet. But what about the other 4 aspects? Because the mind has 5 objects of meditation. Mind can meditate on form, mind can meditate on sound, Mind can meditate on smell, mind can meditate on touch, mind can meditate on taste. All these 5. Because mind has experienced all these things. When you dream and you're sleeping and your 5 working senses are closed, in your mind you can smell, in your mind you can hear, in your mind you can taste, in your mind you can touch, you can feel, and all these things are happening in the mind. So that's happening unconsciously in swapna. The 5 sense objects are being perceived and entertained by the mind. But now meditation is a conscious practice. So when we meditate, then consciously we can actually meditate not only Rup Dhyan, but Shabda Dhyan, Sparsha Dhyan. When we read in the Shastra, for example, that Krishna's skin is softer than a newly unfurled leaf of a tamal tree. Naya tamal patra. Komal. Ati komal. It's more soft than the new leaf of a tamal tree. So if we find a tamal tree somewhere, and we've read that, then we want to feel that. So we will feel that sensation with our fingers. Oh, this is very soft. And that sensation becomes a sanskara in our chitta, an experience, sparsha. It goes into our chitta, into our consciousness, into our mind. So then we can dream at night that I'm feeling the softness of a tamal leaf, because we experienced it. So now, when we meditate, we can meditate on Krishna, that Krishna, your body, your transcendental body, your skin is spiritual, divine skin, if you want to call it, your form, is softer than the leaf of a tamal tree. And we can meditate on that, how soft Krishna's skin is. Because when we read that gopis are fearing that when you walk in the forest in the daytime and Gochar and Leela, that the small pebbles and thorns and new dried seeds from different trees that fall on the ground, they can be very sharp and piercing and uncomfortable. They may be hurting your feet, and we're worried about your tender feet. And we can think how we read about this, and the gopis are worried. So that means that they're worried about the touch of Krishna's feet. So that gopis are absorbed in the sound of Krishna's voice and the touch of Krishna's body and the fragrance of Krishna's body, talking about it, remembering it. And Lord Chaitanya in Antilila, he was just tasting the Mahaprasadam, and he went into a whole memory of the lips of Krishna, and the Adara Amrita of Krishna, and the experience of rasa dance, and so many lilas, just by taking the Mahaprasad, which is Rupam. The Rupam, the form of Mahaprasad, became Sparsha, became Rasam, became Shabda, became everything in his memory. As he went on to describe, whole lilas were coming out of, he's taking one piece of kaja. So therefore, the Acharya is telling us, I should remember the beauty of her feet. That means, beauty means color, beauty means shape, but then beauty means the sound. Because he's saying, remember the beauty of her lotus feet. Well, beauty is generally, when we hear the word beauty, we think of rupam, form, but we also have beautiful sounds, and beautiful smells, and beautiful forms. Beauty can include all these things. So I should remember the beauty of her feet, and which are decorated with jewel-studded ankle bells that make a sweet sound. So he's telling us, I should remember the ankle bells, and they're not just the rupam of an ankle bell. Here's an ankle bell. Okay, I meditate an ankle bell. Maybe I've seen one, or maybe I wore one. Some ladies, they wear ankle bells, and they have more familiarity. And maybe they've heard them. So then, because they wore them and they heard them, then they can try to think, oh, Krishna's bells sound sweetly like this, but 1,000 times more sweet, transcendentally sweet. So he's saying, this is how we should spend our time. So he's pointing us here in Smaran, and he's saying that Smaran is 5 levels of Smaran. Rup Smaran, Sparsha Smaran, Shabda Smaran, Rasa Smaran, Gandha Smaran. You follow my line of thought? If we analyze what he's saying. Madhura Ranan Mani Nupura. Manvara Ranan Mani Nupura. Chirade. Radha Padaravinda Sudaryam. Saundarya, like we say, Sham Sundar. Radha Padaravinda Saundaryam. Her feet, her Radhapada, her lotus feet, Aravinda, they're like lotuses, but then they're so beautiful. And then Madhura Ranan Mani Nupura. The Nupura, the ankle bells, she wears jewel inlaid ankle bells on her lotus feet. And they make such a Ranan. Ranan means sound. Make a very sweet and charming sound. So he's establishing, first he establishes the object of meditation. The first two lines of the verse. Then he says, Vrindavana bhuvi santatam, anu chintayan mama shana yantu. First he establishes the prayojana, the goal. And then he backs up and says, this is what we want to attain. We want to attain this. The remembrance of the beautiful lotus feet of Radha and the beautiful tinkling, sweet tinkling sounds of her ankle bells. That's prayojana. Now he wants to tell you the Abhideya, the practice. That's the sadhya, now here's the sadhana. So then he says, Vrindavana bhuvi satatam. In the land of bhuvi, Vrindavana bhuvi, in the land of Vrindavan, satatam, all the time, I should do what? Anuchintyan mama shana yantu. Shana means my moments. Mama shana means my moments should be anuchintya. Over again and again, in my mind, I should be reflecting in my chinta, in my consciousness, in my mind, time and time again. My every moment should be spent with this goal. Very powerful thought he's giving. Madhura, very simple. Madhura Ranan, Mani Nupura, Radha Padaravinda Saundaryam, Vrindavana Bhuvi Santatam, Anu Chintayato, Mama Shana Yantu. This is beautiful points he's giving us here. He's compassionate. Vaishnava Kripambudi. Vaishnava is ocean of compassion. Ambudi Kripa. He's telling, do like this. Don't waste your time in Vrindavan. This is Vrindavan Mahimamrita. This is the sweet glories of Vrindavan. And this is how to live in Vrindavan in a sweet, glorious way. How to make your life glorious in Vrindavan. How to attain Mahima, attain the full glory of human life. And make it nectarian. Amrita means no death. If you live in Vrindavan in this way, Vrindavan Amritam, Mahimamritam. If we make our life glorious by following the teachings of Prabodhananda Saraswati, then we'll taste the nectar of eternal Vrindavan. The Vrindavan Amritam. Amritam means immortality, no death.